movies made us do it. Me and Matt are back. How are you, Matt?
I'm pretty good. So yourself?
I'm very well. Hopefully, there's been a bit of noise in the background of some of our videos lately. I'm hoping to eliminate that.
Oh, okay.
Only a little bit. It's probably only something I notice and no one else has noticed, but it's bugging me. But also, there might be a little bit more noise today because I've got a fan pointing at me to keep me alive. But I will
That's fine.
I will try and remove it as much as possible, so hopefully there won't be too much noise to you. But no, I'm very well. I'm very well indeed. I loved our talk on Alien. I loved it. But starting our podcast called The Movies Made Us Do It, that's the only film I've seen in the last 2 weeks. But I have seen Godzilla Singular Point twice. So,
twice? Oh, wow.
Yes, well, I watched it in Japanese and then I watched it in English. So,
yes.
Because, we'll get to it. You probably know why I watched it in English afterwards.
I actually switched halfway through.
Oh, fair enough.
I was watching it in Japanese and I was like, I can't concentrate on this enough.
I persevered.
It's like,
and then
I had to watch it in English in the end, and it's one of the rare occasions where I've actually done that.
I felt ashamed of myself. I did as
well. I felt dirty.
Do that. But I finished it in Japanese, and then I left it a couple of days, and I was like, do you know what? Like, I missed a lot. And I just wanted to go back, so I went back and watched the whole thing in English this week, and picked up a lot more of the plot.
I think I need to watch the first couple of episodes in English as well, because I like I said, I switched sort of halfway through, not quite halfway through, probably less than halfway through, but yeah, it was it was too much to keep track of it once with the subtitles, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, should we start with Godzilla, because you've seen Godzilla as well, right?
Yep, I have indeed. Let's do that then.
Excellent. Let's start with Godzilla Singular Point. An anime show that I was obviously very excited about, being Godzilla. So, yes, directed by Atsushi Takahashi, and it's 2 studios that worked on it. There's Bones.
Yeah, Bones and
Orange.
Yeah.
Now, I believe
Bones is fucking great. I love Bones.
Yeah, so I think what they did is that Bones did all the 2D and Orange did the 3D, I think.
Okay.
I think that's the split. I could be wrong. Well, I guess, what did you think of it?
Well,
let's talk about the movie. This
absolutely loved it. Honestly, I think this is one of my favourite Godzilla things.
I agree.
I mean,
I think it's fucking fantastic.
It's weird because, to be quite honest, not much Godzilla in it.
I don't mind.
Which, the thing is though, the story didn't need it.
No.
Because the story had so much in it, and it was a good story, that
I think
didn't need it. I think it would have been nice to see a little more of a sort of a battle, but
the thing is, I think it would have been, but at the same time, I thought there was enough. And we had the swarms of Rodan. We had Jet Jaguar versus the Rodan, then versus Anguirus. I think there was enough going on. I've seen
there was certainly a lot going on.
I've seen a lot of people say they thought it was really boring. I wasn't bored once. In fact, I thought there was so much going on.
Honestly,
that I was like,
say,
Jesus! Like,
I don't know how anybody could be bored, because it was just, there was so much going on. There were so many bloody characters that was like, oh, okay. There was a couple of times where I was like, what did that character do again? Mm-hmm. Oh yes, it was that. Okay, that was that person, right? There was a couple of moments like that, but I think you could only be bored if you didn't really enjoy any of the sci-fi stuff, the proper sci-fi stuff.
Yeah, I think there's I think there's an argument to be made that if you're only interested in the MonsterVerse Godzilla, this is probably not for you.
No.
This. And also, if you're not an anime fan, because this was very anime.
Yeah.
Fucking the most exposition in an anime I've ever seen, probably. It was insane.
Yeah.
But I absolutely loved this. And I think what I really like is that, obviously we've got Legendary with the MonsterVerse, and they're doing what they're doing. And now they're doing the Monster Mash, right?
Yeah, which is what we
love that. I love both kinds of Godzilla. I like the serious stuff. I like the Monster Mash stuff. It's all good for me, right?
But I think really you like them for different reasons. It's
absolutely.
do. It's what they, and there are some that are terrible, and
I love them for being terrible.
Almost can't watch some of them, but like you said, even those have got their
they're
charm.
still hilarious.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think what I like is that Toho have just gone, it's cool. Legendary and the Monsterverse have got your Monster Mash.
Yep.
We're going to go with some hard science story.
Yeah.
And I loved it.
And what I think the only stipulation they gave was that Godzilla can't eat humans.
Yeah.
He can't be seen to eat humans. And I think
it was too big for that anyway. Very weird.
If he eats a monster, they have to tell them, and I guess they will decide whether, in the context, whether to or not.
Yeah, they're like, he's gonna eat Amanda, and they're like, yeah, fine. You can eat Amanda. That's cool.
Yeah. Well, actually, I was going to say, the sort of the ape-like one, the ape lizard one.
Yes. Sarunga?
Yeah.
Salunga.
I didn't recognise that one.
So he's new.
He is new.
Well, it's weird, right?
He was, but I thought, I don't recognise him as a creature. But
he's new, but like a lot of this show. So there's some weird thing in this show, and I really liked it. I can see why a lot of people got annoyed. A lot of the creatures in this show are either creatures from Toho past, or they're made up monster mashes of other characters.
Yeah.
So like Godzilla in his aqua form.
I loved his aqua form. When
he was basically
that scene where he jumps out of the water
incredible.
Was that was amazing.
Awesome. That was basically Titanosaurus, effectively. It would look like Titanosaurus kind of in fish form. And Salunga is kind of like Gabara and Baragon kind of mixed together.
Gotcha.
So they kind of mashed the two.
Well, that's why I didn't know whether it was because you've seen all of them. There's a couple that I haven't seen. And I was thinking, well, maybe it could be that he's just
an obscure
one that I don't recognise, and they've just like Rodan, they just made.
Yeah.
This makes the Rodans way more pterosaur, and I just thought maybe they just redesigned one that I didn't remember.
No, he's kind of a mash of two. It's kind of like he's a homage to Gabara and Baragon, but he's his own character. I thought he was great. I loved that design.
Great. I really
awesome.
liked it when he's climbing up the cables and things. I just thought that's really cool.
And when he was climbing down them as well, when he was swooping down them, that was awesome. There's there are so many references in this show to past Toho Godzilla movies. Especially the end credits are insane.
Oh, the end credits are amazing.
They're like almost my favourite part because there's so much references to everything in Godzilla past. I mean, these people loved Godzilla. The people writing and putting this together absolutely loved Godzilla, and it shows.
Yeah. And it's really funny watching like this compared to like watching an American thing where they say they love the thing and then they change everything. This was full on. Yeah, they changed stuff and they did their own.
Oh yeah, they did their own thing.
Their own spin. But you could tell the love was so much for this thing.
I mean, like you've got like phone cases, plushies, toys, drawings, murals. Like everywhere you look, there's references to
that. The painting of the Godzilla attacking
awesome.
the thing with the Tengu Rodan.
I want that on my wall.
I totally want that painting. It was fucking awesome.
Yeah, it's really
cool.
And
that's the thing with this. Some of the scenes, you just want to go snap. I want that. That's for my wall, and that's for my wall. The scene where they have the first red dust blowout, and it's all swirling around. That was fucking stunning.
Yes.
That was so beautiful and scary. It was brilliant.
It was incredible. And I love that, like, the sense of dread and just that alien. I mean, it's very... and in fact, they even reference War of the Worlds in it. It's very War of the Worlds. The kind of red weed kind of thing. But God, it looks awesome. Like,
and the sense of this one felt a lot more apocalyptic than the others did.
Almost like
the sense of this is all going to end. Everything is going to end. We're fucked.
Yeah,
was,
even more so than like Shin Godzilla, which was getting there, or would have gone there had they had their own way originally. And this feels like a natural progression from Shin Godzilla.
Mm-hmm.
Like Godzilla continues in this evolution thing, and I think they're going to continue that now. Like Toho's Godzilla is obviously going to be that way, I feel, now going forward. And they even had elements in this that I know they'd planned for Shin Godzilla and didn't do.
Yeah, I thought that. I did wonder whether they used bits from that.
Was certainly the bit with Godzilla in his first land form when he starts puking blood.
It was very Shin Godzilla, wasn't it?
That was a scene from Shin Godzilla. Shin Godzilla in his second form was going to spew blood from his mouth all over the streets.
Yeah,
and that was kind of in this. I loved.
I did get slightly confused when he first came out of the water because I thought that's not Godzilla, and then but they were using his tune, so it's like
the Ifukube theme.
Well, it got to be Godzilla because they're using the tune. If it can't be somebody else, and I thought. And then it was like, I realised that it was, they're doing the Shin Godzilla thing.
The Shin Godzilla. I did the same. I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah, I'm totally happy with that. I really love it. And one of the things I really loved as well is the two main characters were great.
Oh, Mei and Yun. I loved them.
Yeah, they were.
Do you know who I loved more than anyone, though? I fucking love Goro, the old guy.
The old guy, yeah.
The crackpot. He's awesome. I love him.
He was brilliant. He was really funny. I loved that him piloting Jet Jaguar was
so fantastic. Awesome. And he just drives the
the
truck into the side of the
yeah.
You just see his head like smashing through the window as he hits into the rodan. Awesome.
Yeah, he's completely oblivious, but like completely gung ho and like mental. I really liked him as well. He was good. See, and again, all the like even sort of the lesser characters, they were really good. I like the what was his name? He was the guy. I think he was supposed to be Indian. His daughter certainly looked Indian.
The guy who has no time for his daughter.
Yes, him. Yes. He was great. I thought he was fantastic.
He was great. Yeah.
At times, I was thinking, is he going to turn out to be the villain? Because I was hoping he wasn't, and they didn't, thankfully.
But that's the thing, isn't it? There's a lot of mystery in this show, and it really kept me hooked from beginning to end. I was like, what is going on?
One of the other ones I want to know is, so you know the boss of the Shiva company, the woman, was she an alien?
I don't know, because her eyes were
black.
Were black, yeah. I don't know. And this is why I'm really excited for another series. It certainly wants to do another series. I assume you saw the post credits, by the way.
I did see the post credits. They were fucking awesome. And I knew that's what they were going to do as soon as they
showed the bones. I was like, that's got to be what they're going to do.
Yeah.
Well, at first I was like, maybe maybe the bones will reform into Godzilla, but as soon as I saw the aqua form of Godzilla with the Ifukube music, I was like, okay, they're clearly doing that with the bones. Cool.
Yeah, well, I was thinking maybe that Jet Jaguar was gonna merge with the bones, and he would be like a
Mecha
Jet
Godzilla.
Jaguar.
Fuck it.
Yeah,
spoilers.
I thought maybe he would be either a Mecha Godzilla or a version, sort of an amalgamation.
Yeah,
but it was fine. The some of the stuff with the fringe science stuff was like really like interesting, and
it was
really
amazing.
Really odd, and I loved the oh my god, I'm never gonna remember what it is. It's how they pronounced it. They called it the agonizer.
The orthogonal diagonizer.
That's it, the orthogonal diagonizer.
So I must admit, some of the names in this were like, oh my god, like, what are you doing to me?
Wasn't that just an oxygen bomb?
It was the oxygen destroyer, but different. So again, it's they've taken elements of past Godzilla and they've made it something new. So it's a homage to the oxygen destroyer. It looks like the oxygen destroyer, but it does something different.
And I love little things that they changed, like Angus's oscillations.
Can I say this might be my favorite Angus design?
I agree.
Awesome.
Completely agree. It was fucking awesome, wasn't it?
I'm hoping that in the sequel we get another Angus, a bigger Angus. That would be cool. You know.
Yeah.
Because you get the impression that they're all, because the Rodan evolve throughout the show as well. There's two versions of the Rodan. The first Rodan's very different from the Swarm, and I'm getting the impression, and in fact later Godzilla battles a bigger Rodan, like the biggest one they've seen. So you get the impression that they're all going to ultimately grow in size to the kind of Godzilla size.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well.
Yeah, so I'd love to see that. I'd love to see another Anguirus.
The only thing that one of the things I didn't like was how there was quite a lot of build up from the whole, we need to get this code, blah 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 blah, all that sort of stuff, and then it was like, oh, last episode everything's squished into and it ends, and it was like, okay, and it's like, I understand they're going to do another season, or I hope they're going to do another season.
I certainly hope they do after this. Yeah,
I hope they're going to do another season because it was fucking awesome.
Yeah,
but it did feel the last episode was a bit rushed. It felt like they could have the two episodes before that, they could have probably squished a bit down and spread out, the Godzilla's end stuff a bit more, just so that it was, because I think the last episode just felt too much in 20 minutes.
It certainly felt like it ends quite quickly, and you're like, I don't know who's, like, because we don't see Goro at the end, and I'm like, is Goro dead? Is he still alive? Like, what happened to him? Because he fell in the truck with Habaru, but I'm like, did they both survive? Because you don't see him in the end, so I don't know.
So.
It's interesting, because I was going to say that I felt like if I was going to be critical, this show probably could have lost, like, 2 episodes and been a bit speedier for the process.
Yeah.
But now that you've said that, I think I agree with you. They would have been better off just having more stuff in those last couple of episodes in the run-up.
Yeah,
and stretching
I think
it out a bit.
They could have made the last episode sort of 2 parts just to sort of spread it out a little.
Let it breathe.
I think that would have been nicer. But overall, this was fucking awesome, and I can honestly say it was one of my favourite Godzilla things I've seen.
It's hard for me to say, because every time something new comes out with Godzilla, I'm like, it's the best thing ever, and I might change my mind. But honestly, no, I loved this approach to Godzilla. I really enjoyed the more hard science, serious storyline. I loved all the characters like you. I thought May was amazing.
I think it was great. There were no Kennys, which is great.
No, none at all.
There were no. I mean, May at times could have verged on being a Kenny, but or Kendra if you like. But the fact that there were no Kennys is always a bonus for me.
There was like one scene where I was a bit like, she came across quite selfish there, but like the scene on the train when she knows that people are dying in the city, and she's like, I left my clothes out. Should I go back and get the... And I was like, that's a bit like, but other than that, I genuinely thought she was a fantastic character, and again, I want to see more of her. I even liked Yun, who like kind of, he doesn't really have much of a personality. No, he's just like one of the best programmers in the world, and he's like a proper nerd. But I loved his character. I thought he was great. And
his mate needed to have a little bit more screen time, but he was still great when
he was just weightlifting, man.
Yeah,
he's just constantly doing pull-ups and stuff. I love they took Jet Jaguar effectively from being a meme. To being a massively interesting character. I loved the development of Jet Jaguar all the way through the show. I loved that he kept getting upgraded. I loved what happened at the end. I kind of, about halfway through, I was like, I think that Pelops 2 is going to merge. I felt like there was going to be a merging at some point. Didn't see the time travel stuff coming. That was like, okay. But obviously it all made sense in the end. And I was like, okay, it all makes sense in the end. It's crazy that we've started from a couple of ghost hunters who work for a tech factory to ending in like catastrophe with giant monsters and time travel. It was like, wow, it's like the most anime show ever. It's great.
Yeah, because in the beginning when there was just them, like you said, like
it's
they
like
were
a hobby, I think.
Them being ghost hunters and stuff. It was like, where the hell is this going? This is interesting
with the song and stuff, and then obviously at the end it makes sense as to what happened, and I loved that. But it was like, wow,
And even the song was great, and the theme tune was fantastic.
Oh my god!
Was it by Bish? That was
Oh, that theme tune has been stuck in my head for like.
I know, and it's not
weeks.
very often that I don't. If I'm watching like a Netflix show and that, it's not very often I don't skip the beginning. Usually you skip the beginning, but this one I find that I wasn't skipping it. I was just watching.
I love that tune.
The tune, I really loved it.
Yeah,
it was great.
Unskippable. I love it. It's got to be listened to. But yeah, it has been stuck in my head for like weeks now.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it was. I mean, I can definitely see why Godzilla fans wouldn't like it because, like I said, there's not a lot of Godzilla in it.
It depends what you want from your Godzilla film.
Mm-hmm.
Really. But I think, we see a lot of Godzilla these days. And, if this was the only Godzilla we'd had for like since the Millennium series, then I'd be like, okay, yeah, I can see why you're annoyed. We finally got Godzilla and he's barely in it.
Yeah,
which was kind of the argument of 2014's Godzilla.
It is.
Yeah,
totally.
But now it's like, yeah, we've got lots of Godzilla going on, and I just saw Godzilla vs Kong, which was the monster mash action. It's Showa era silly fun, right? I've no problem with this, and also, all right, we didn't get a lot of Godzilla until the end, although you did see Godzilla in various forms throughout the show.
Yeah, he was in it, but he didn't do a great deal.
No, but what you did get were all the other characters. We got to see Anguirus again. We got to see Rodan. I love this idea of a Rodan swarm. I think it's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Rodan swarm. All all the sort of the little things,
the Mandas were awesome. Kamungas, we had the little Kamunga spiders and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They were awesome.
Yeah, that was a really good scene. I really liked that, and there was just some really nice sort of really good like you said, like War of the Worlds stuff. With the dust and things, and I really did like the idea that this dust was like helping the evolution of these creatures, and they were bringing it, but it was also part of them, and it was also making them. There was these like weird little paradox things that were really interesting.
Yeah,
it was a lot more sort of pure sci-fi than a lot of the Godzilla stuff is.
I would say it was like borderline hard science in
Mm-hmm.
times during this. It was quite almost dry in places where it was like trying to take this information in and make sense of it all.
Yeah.
One thing I really liked was the and I don't know if this was intentional, but you've got everything in the world and the characters are all in 2D, and then the monsters, which are coming from another dimension, are all 3D.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that was intentional or not, but I love that design choice because it felt like something from another world. It's alien to the anime coming into the world.
It did feel like it was a conscious decision.
The reason I thought it might be conscious is because towards the end there is one scene where Salunga is like right over just as Pelops 2 is about to go back through time and do all of that stuff. You've got Salunga coming down and he's hand animated at that point. And I was like, is that like, just for a moment there's like a hand drawn Salunga, and I was like, is that because he's like becoming part of the world now, or am I just overthinking this? I don't know, but I loved
I don't know, actually. I guess I didn't think about that particular thing.
But I just like that, like, they're from a different dimension, so they're 3D. They're like the 3D stuff, and then the 2D is like kind of clashing. I thought it was really cool.
I have just thought about something there, having seen. I was just looking at the pictures, and something just did occur to me. May's computer, the little dog thing.
Pelops 2.
That actually could be a Kenny. Could be classed as a Kenny, really. It was quite annoying at times.
It kind of was, but I just thought it was cute, to be honest.
It did feel a bit like a get out of situation card at times. It was like she's supposed to be like this genius sort of computer thing, but a lot of the working out stuff, she didn't do. The computer just did it all for her.
Well, you could say that Yun did it because Yun created the AI.
Yes,
in
that's
the first
true.
Place. But I totally take your point.
But overall, I think it was fantastic. I think it was a really good fucking show. Really well done.
Really, really enjoyed it. I think it was, certainly some of the best written Godzilla we've had for, probably since Shin. Absolutely loved it. I will definitely watch it again. And
even though there was a lot of it, the stuff actually with Godzilla was really interesting. I mean, like like we're saying, the actual the evolution, going through the sort of different Godzilla forms, and then even to the stuff like when Yun's on top of Godzilla, and there are like little parasites like coming to get him and things. It's like that was really cool.
I forget the name of them. Oh, yeah, I forget the name of those things. But yeah, that was a nice reference. Wasn't expecting to see those there, but it made sense. They're like parasites living on Godzilla. Cool.
Yeah, I like the way his breath powered up.
It looked awesome. Yeah,
halo, sort of this big. It was
very
halo
Shin
thing.
Godzilla, but it was great. Yeah, the halo thing was really cool. Yeah,
yeah, it was really nice. It was just really, really fucking good. And I guess if they do a season 2, which, like I said,
God, I hope so.
Fingers crossed. Maybe we'll see more of Godzilla in the second season.
Yeah, I mean, I would hope so. I would hope so, because we've established everything now. But yeah, I absolutely loved this. Absolutely. As an aside, I did recently rewatch Godzilla King of the Monsters.
Okay, right.
And
I actually just bought Kong versus Godzilla. I haven't watched it again yet, but I just bought that as well.
I've watched it a couple of times. I watched it like 3 times when it came out, the week it came out. But King of the Monsters, having rewatched it, I think I agree with you. I think it is better than Godzilla vs. Kong.
Oh, okay.
I think
cool.
You're right. Having rewatched it.
That doesn't happen very often.
Oh, it does. It happens quite often. But no, I think you're right, actually. I think I do prefer it to Godzilla vs. Kong. And do you know what? The longer it goes on since Godzilla vs. Kong, and the more I think about it, and this show hasn't helped.
Right.
The more I think about it, the more it pisses me off that there wasn't the Ifukube score in Godzilla vs. Kong. And someone pointed out, I can't think who it is. It was a YouTuber, so this is not me, not my credit, but it's a bloody good point. Someone said the score that Junkie XL came up with for Godzilla in Godzilla vs. Kong, that theme would have been absolutely perfect for Mechagodzilla. They should have used that theme for Mechagodzilla and used the Ifukube score for Godzilla.
That would have been nice.
That would have been cool. And that's a complete aside rant, but yeah, I rewatched it, and you're right, I absolutely loved it. I think it is probably better than Godzilla vs. Kong. But I still liked Godzilla vs. Kong a lot for what it was.
Oh yeah, no, Godzilla vs. Kong was great, except for the sort of the Kenny stuff.
And the silly stuff. It's just, a lot of it's like, whatever. We're into show era silly now, it's fine.
But I do think they were wasted. They could have used them better.
Definitely.
And they concentrated on the wrong people in that movie.
For sure.
They concentrated on supposedly Team Godzilla more than they concentrated on Team Kong.
I don't know why.
And Team Kong were way more interesting.
I love Millie Bobby Brown, but she had no fucking business being in that movie at all. She
didn't. They could have completely done without
all of them.
Their storyline.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, even better. They could have got. They didn't need the conspiracy guy.
No.
It could have just been Millie Bobby Brown and what's his name, the kiddie from Deadpool 2.
Yeah.
It could have just been those two, and it would have been a lot more interesting, because that bloody conspiracy guy was so fucking annoying.
I think to be honest, I think it should have just been May and her group, because they were the most interesting anyway.
Yeah.
Come back to Millie Bobby Brown in another movie.
Yeah.
Really, or put them with her, with May and co. But even then, I think like Millie Bobby Brown's character would have just felt like a pointless sidekick, and it's like, why are you really here? There's no need for you.
Fifth wheel, yeah.
But anyway, Godzilla Singular Point, can't recommend it enough if you're prepared for what you're getting yourself in for. If
you like sci-fi anime, I think it's, and you don't mind
a lot of exposition.
I mean, thinking about it now, what you said earlier on, this is exactly what we would have complained about, and what we did complain about with the was it 2014 Godzilla movie, that there just wasn't enough Godzilla.
I still like 2014 though.
I do, but I fucking hate all the stuff with the soldier boy.
The baiting.
it's just the whole family stuff with him was like, no, you killed the wrong guy. Just keep
Bryan Cranston.
Bryan Cranston. They should have. He had
the far more compelling story.
Yeah,
like he really did. He was like, yeah, your wife was killed by something that was far more compelling than you're the son of some guy.
Yeah,
like great.
And I understand they wanted him to be the more action guy, but they kind of could have done that.
Leave the action to the giant monster.
Yeah, exactly. So having said that, this series does kind of suffer from that thing.
Well, I would say that it does, unless you take into account that I think there was consistent monster action throughout the show. Not necessarily Godzilla, but we saw a lot of different monsters from Toho's past showing up and battling. It should have been called Jet Jaguar. Like, it should have been Jet Jaguar, Singular Point. Yeah. And then no one would have been angry, because obviously Godzilla's going to show up, but it was a Jet Jaguar series. That would have been fun.
I mean, that's... I think you didn't... The thing that annoyed me the most about the 2014 thing was the bait stuff.
Yeah.
Was the glimpse and pull away. Glimpse and pull away. That... I think... They didn't do that, at least with this show.
No, not at all.
It didn't feel like they were doing that.
No.
So it's not that. But,
I think I liked the baiting. Like when they did it the first time. The
first time was fine.
It was great, then they just kept doing it, and it got more and more fucking infuriating.
Exactly. You get to do the bait and pull back once.
Yeah.
To get you. It's a whet your appetite thing. It's the... Oh, look at what we're going to show you. Look at what we're going to show you. No, you're not. And then you show later on.
And it was great, like that
3 fucking times.
That first scene where we get that first glimpse of Godzilla, and he comes in on the tsunami, and it's like, holy shit, this is awesome. And then you just see his face, and then we cut to the news report of the aftermath. That was so effective.
That was good.
But after that, you should never have done it again. That was the one time, and then you show us stuff after that. Yeah, it was frustrating, but I still like 2014 for what it is.
Yeah, I do too. It's got there's a lot to love in that movie, and it's far from the worst Godzilla movie.
Oh God, no. No, definitely not.
We all know what the worst Godzilla movie is.
Yes, 1998.
Yeah. So,
what was it? 1997. I think it's 1998. However, I have recently been rewatching the animated show of that, and that was really good. Shockingly good. The American animated TV show from the awful 1998 movie.
Oh, from the Zilla cartoon.
Yeah, it's great. It's really good.
I don't think I've ever seen it.
It's got proper story arcs. It's much more like... He's basically just Godzilla. He's basically like classic Godzilla. He fights a monster every week and can breathe.
Okay.
Atomic breath and all that stuff. He's just got the design of the 98 version, but... Basically, he's just classic Godzilla.
Which, like we've said before, is not a bad design. It's just not Godzilla.
Yeah, it's a fine design. It's
a really cool monster design.
Should have been. The thing is, if you watch Godzilla 1998 with a mind that it's not a Godzilla movie, it's actually a remake of Beast from 20,000 Fathoms.
Yeah,
it's actually fine. Like it works really well as a Beast from 20,000 Fathoms remake rather than a Godzilla movie.
Yeah,
it kind of works. 20,000 Fathoms is the one I'm thinking of, isn't it? Yeah.
We should start a petition to have it renamed.
Yeah, yeah.
That might save the movie.
I think it's Beast. I think it's Beast from 20,000 Fathoms. I'm thinking of.
Just have every reference to Godzilla taken
removed.
Out.
Yeah,
and just put Beast.
Beast. No. Anyway, what else have you been watching, Matt?
So I have seen. America the Motion Picture.
Yes. Now I was half tempted to give this a go, and then I didn't.
So I saw the trailer and I thought, okay, it's a satire of American history. It's made, brought to you by the guys who do Archer, and Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, it's a good team.
Brilliant, fantastic. So the animation is great. The animation is really good. It's quite archery. Slightly more cartoony than Archer is. It's Channing Tatum is George Washington, and his best friend Will Forte is Abraham Lincoln. So right away that tells you, okay, this is obviously massively anachronistic, but that's fine.
Of course.
It's a satire.
Yeah.
Basically, at the very, very beginning, the founding fathers are signing the Declaration of Independence, and they're all like dude bros. And Benedict Arnold comes in, basically murders them all, and rips up the Declaration, and then, I mean, this isn't spoiling it because it's the beginning, so
sure.
Then he basically assassinates Abraham Lincoln because by ripping out his throat, because he's a werewolf. For some reason, I don't know why they made Benedict Arnold a werewolf, but fine, it was all right. So, and then from there, it's George Washington trying to get a team of heroes consisting of Samuel Adams, Thomas Edison, who's a girl, Paul Revere, and he's trying to get a group together to get back the Declaration of Independence, and take America, make it like a new country, take it away from the evil British, who are basically, every British soldier looks exactly the same, and pretty much all they say is "Hello, Governor. Hello, Governor."
Okay, I can appreciate that. To be fair,
you've got Simon Pegg is the voice of King James, which is odd because so he's not James the Third, George the Third. He's King James, who was a lot earlier, obviously, which is another thing. But he looks like Henry VIII. Okay, and he's this sort of like massively fat sort of Henry VIII character who's floating around on this floating disc sort of thing, and there's a lot of very on the nose Star Wars reference, Emperor references. Sure. So, I laughed about 3 times.
Oh no! See, the premise you just gave me sounded sounds all right. Yeah, sounds okay. Sounds like a bit of fun.
I completely understand what they're trying to do with this. They're trying to satirize the way that people revere the founding fathers and stuff. But for me, it was just a little too right now, right on people. Mm-hmm. It was that whole, yes, what all white men are racist, and it was like, okay, fine. That if that's what you're doing, that's fine. But a lot of the jokes have been done in either Family Guy or Robot Chicken or
like Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter, and
it's
the alternate history thing's been done.
Yeah, exactly. Or like Drunk Histories, and none of the jokes, like you could see the jokes coming, and it was like, okay, that I know what it should be funny, but it isn't.
Yeah.
It's like there's so many.
Just fell a bit flat.
Yeah, there's a scene where they go to this bar, and the bar's called Vietnam.
Okay.
And it's basically just a setup so that 2 of the characters, not Paul Revere, Samuel Adams, who's a full-on beer-swilling dude bro, and Geronimo can have this conversation about they have a fight in this pub, and one of them says, "Oh, but we won in Vietnam," and the other guy says, "Really? Is that how you saw that?"
Okay.
And you think, okay. Yeah, and it's really that.
So it was all just a punchline for that punchline. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. It's like clang. Okay, it should work because, like I said, it's been, but it's not. It just doesn't. It didn't for me. Well, it certainly didn't for me. It was. I just sat there thinking, okay, I get what you're doing. I just didn't find it funny.
Yeah, I mean, I saw the trailer and I thought, nah, whatever. Like you said, it's all been done before. So unless you've got some really good jokes in there,
there was a couple of sight gags that were really funny that I laughed at. There was a few sort of like references. There was a sort of a getaway thing with the transporter, like Jason Statham, basically. Yeah. That was all right. there was some like funny things, going on, but the overall jokes weren't funny. It was but I mean, I think that the most frustrating thing is they should be. You can see them, and it's like, but I've seen this joke in Family Guy, and they did it They did it better.
Yeah.
Or South Park stuff like South Park.
Well, I mean, Team America.
Team America is completely what this movie wishes it was.
Yeah. Yeah. And Team America got there like a decade early, and you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe more now, actually, now that I think about it.
It's probably more than that, isn't it? Yeah. I honestly can't recommend it.
Well, that's a shame.
Certainly not personally. I think it's way too fucking long. It's about an hour and 40 minutes roughly.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, and it would. I think maybe it would have been funnier if it would have just been a half an hour thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or 40 minutes. 40 minutes short movie would have been way funnier. They could have, because the middle just fucking drags.
Okay.
It was really like, is they going to do something now or what? It was. Yeah, it was not funny. It was not great. The animation was fantastic.
Yeah, yeah. It's a great studio, so I'm not surprised.
Animation was great, and most of the voice cast. There was nothing wrong with the voice cast. They were all sort of doing their best. I mean, Channing Tatum. Okay, he's Channing Tatum. Maybe they could have found someone with a better delivery. I don't know. Maybe some of the jokes would have worked with a better delivery from him. I don't think they would have really.
But a lot of that's got to come down to direction as well.
I think so. Yeah, and I mean, maybe if you're a lot more left wing,
right.
I think a lot of the very, very left wing people right now will really like this movie.
Okay, so yeah, so just not the audience for you.
It will definitely appeal to the very left wing people.
Cool.
The Twitter people.
Mm-hmm.
But
the Twitter people.
Yeah, the Twitter people.
What a scathing thing to call someone a Twitter person.
And that is maybe I'm being too cruel.
It's quite a scathing thing to call anyone a Twitter person.
Maybe I'm being too cruel. But yes. Yeah, it certainly didn't work for me. I didn't laugh enough. So no, I cannot recommend.
Fair enough. What else have you been watching?
So I watched Jiu-Jitsu.
Okay, so tell me all about Jiu-Jitsu, because I've seen the trailer and I have been tempted. I have been tempted by this. It looks fucking terrible, but in like maybe a really good way. I don't think they intended it to be, but
so we've got Alan Moussis, Nicolas Cage, Tommy Walker, Ricky Yoon. You've got Tony Jaa in it. It's like, Tony Jaa, why does he keep appearing in shit movies?
I know.
You got Frank Grillo, which is a sign of class, and it's directed by Dimitri Logothesis. Sorry if I ruined your name. I'm guessing he's Greek with that name. And so it's kind of like a mixture of Predator and Mortal Kombat. So
that sounds kind of awesome when you say it like that.
Yeah, exactly. It does, doesn't it? So every couple of years, this comet passes the Earth, and this guy turns up, and this alien guy who supposedly throughout history he came here in ancient times, and because he didn't get a challenge, he taught people jiu-jitsu, so that he could, every time he comes back, a team of people have to fight him, and if they give him an entertaining, if they entertain him enough, he won't kill everybody, sort of thing.
Right.
I don't think anyone's ever won, but if they die well enough,
right,
then he'll come back next 6 years or whatever it is. And the main character is basically wakes up. When you first see him, he's getting chased through a jungle, with like shurikens flying at him. The shuriken effects, oh my god, they're so CG and bad. And there's a lot of CG blood that's really awful in this movie.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Blood is like the worst thing to CG.
I know.
Like fake blood is like CG blood is always looks terrible. It's very rare that ever looks any good.
No, it's just not. It's ugh. I mean, I understand it's certainly cheaper than like coating everybody in gore. Well, I think the thing is that with the good thing about having the CG
you don't
blood
have to clean up.
Exactly. One, you don't have to clean up, and two, you can your actors don't have to readjust. They can just do, go again. So the main character, you see him getting chased through the forest, and he ends up in this water, and then he sort of wakes up with these other soldiers, and he's got no memory of certain things. He knows he was being chased and all that. It's like, okay, right, fine, we've got an amnesia plot here. It turns out he was part of this other group, and I'm not going to go into all those story details. Nicolas Cage is a previous contender sort of thing, and at first we were watching it, and we weren't sure whether he was just in the guy's head or not at first,
right?
Because he says things, and at first it only seemed like the main guy was talking to him.
Okay,
and it's like. Oh, okay. So he's not really there. He's in this head, and then the other guys, and then all of a sudden the other guys were talking to him and interacting with him. It's like, oh no, he is there. Oh, okay, that's all right, fine, okay. Yeah, Nicolas Cage is just basically being Nicolas Cage
as the only thing I would ever want Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, exactly. To be. That's on the good point. And he's probably in the movie for 20 minutes.
Yeah, sure.
The main guy, from what I can see, he's a stunt man. So
cool. Well, at least the fight scenes will probably be pretty good in theory.
For the majority of it, the fight scenes are actually quite good. The fight scenes are quite cool. I actually like the design, the suit of the bad guy. He's got quite a cool looking suit. There are some very odd decisions with how it is. There's a lot of walking around talking about what's going on, and it's like, can we just get up there now? I mean, you could. I mean, it's an hour and 40, which is fine. But to be fair, they probably could have lost 40 minutes of them talking, and it would have been a better movie. The acting is atrocious, except for Cage, who's just being Cage.
Sure.
The dialogue is just awful. It's not a good film. It is a very, very bad film. But if you want a film where there's some good action, there's some nice actually first-person fight scenes, which I quite liked.
Oh, cool. Okay.
They're not the best done I've seen.
The budget stretched to a GoPro. That's nice.
But they are actually quite nice. We're not talking Hardcore Henry.
No,
because I really liked Hardcore Henry. But there was some nice first-person fight scenes. There's a couple of characters that turn up and don't seem to do anything, and then either die or go away.
Mm-hmm.
For some utterly unknown reason, Ed Steeples is in this movie, who played Crabman in My Name Is Earl.
Right.
And he does just seem to be playing Crabman. He's supposed to be this soldier who's a translator, because they're in, oh god, are they in Thailand? I forget where they're supposed to be now. I think it's Thailand they're supposed to be in, or somewhere around that area.
Right.
And he's supposed to be their translator, and he's just terrible at it. And it just like, okay, so Crabman's in the army now. Okay, fine. It's like weird, but fine.
Yeah.
But like I said, if you want to see a terrible action movie and drink with your mates,
oh yeah, I imagine it's good for that.
Then this is fine. it's just a no-brain, relatively fun
bit of nonsense
sci-fi action movie. Yeah, it's okay as those go.
I'm looking at the poster.
Yeah,
and it's got like Nicolas Cage front and center, although his name is last on the credits. Yeah. And then it just says proudly on the bottom. It says from the director of Kickboxer Retaliation. the 2018 sequel to Kickboxer. Which probably says all we need to know.
I've heard there are some bloody good fight scenes in that, though.
Well, I've just started reading the cast for Kickboxer Retaliation, and now I kind of want to see it.
Yeah.
It's got, like, Christopher Lambert in it. You know.
I think I have actually seen it. I've got a feeling I've seen it. I just don't remember it very well.
Yeah. But
I
anyway,
I seem to remember that. What was also that poster's great because you got the poster, you've got Nick Cage front and center, you've got Tony Jaa second, and then the actual star is underneath Tony Jaa.
Oh, he's not on this one. This is like a landscape poster,
right? Okay.
So this one's got Tony Jaa. He's kind of off and to the left, and then this other guy who might be the main star and a lady are off to. So Nicolas Cage is in the middle, and they're off to the right.
Yep, I got you. Yeah. Yes, I know. I see the one. Yeah.
Yeah.
The one with Cage with the sword above his head.
Yes.
That one.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the guy on his left is the main guy.
Right.
And there's a really bad love sort of. There's a sort of romance between him and the girl with the white hair, and it's so bad.
Is it as bad as Army of the Dead? Is it like those levels of crap romance where they just halfway through the movie, that like the end of the movie, they're like, "Oh yeah, I love you, by the way." Oh, cool.
Yeah, it kind of is.
Oh no,
it's not quite that sort of.
I mean, let's be honest. We're not watching a movie called Jiu-Jitsu that's got Nicolas Cage in it for quality.
No, exactly. So, I think it is like I said, it's a full on. Just watch it with a couple of mates and a lot of beer.
Yeah,
and you'll be fine.
Which is exactly how I like to watch Face Off.
Yeah. Oh come on, Face Off is still good though.
Face Off is one of the greatest movies ever made.
It's ridiculous,
yeah,
but
fucking ridiculous.
And we will have to do that.
We will definitely have to do that. I think we need to do it as a watch along with some beers, though. That's what I think.
True.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it is a terrible movie, but it is fun.
Yeah.
There's fun to be had. So yeah.
Cool. Well, that's something, right?
Yeah.
So, what else have you watched?
I saw the Tomorrow War.
The Tomorrow War,
which is new to Amazon. It's their latest movie.
So it was because I almost watched the other Amazon movie,
the Ice Road Truckers
and I just couldn't do it. I was like, last night I was like, maybe I can fit this in, and I was like, oh, do you know what? No, I just can't. I
was literally just about to watch the Ice Road Truckers movie, and then. Just next to it, this had come out, and I was like,
"That'll do.
Thank you,
That'll
Jesus.
do." I will probably watch the ice trucker thing.
I am gonna watch the Ice Road Truckers
But my
movie.
God, like I thought the Tomorrow War looked like it was either going to be okay or terrible. Mm-hmm. Ice Truckers, I give no hope to the Ice Truckers movie.
Yeah, no.
But I want to watch it because I think it's going to be a train wreck.
I saw the trailer for this as well and thought, oh, that looks pretty bad. It's not that I think the worst thing about these sort of things is if it reminds you of something good.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like
the trailer for this just got Live Die Repeat all over it,
which is amazing.
And
I love Live Die Repeat.
Don't make your movie look like that, because that movie's really, really good.
Yes.
And you're already on to a loser. This is it's directed by Chris McKay, who previously looks like he did some Robot Chicken stuff. Oh, he directed the Lego Batman movie. Okay.
I enjoyed that movie.
I've not seen the Lego Batman movie because I
know.
Didn't like the Lego movie.
You didn't like that? Yeah, well, why would you?
So it stars Chris Pratt, Yvonne Strahovski, J.K. Simmons, Betty Gilpin, Sam Richardson, Edwin Hodge, and Ryan Carey Armstrong.
Okay.
So Chris Pratt is a ex-army who now teaches geography at schools. He's got a wife played by Betty Gilpin, who is terribly underused.
Oh no!
She really annoys me. That Betty Gilpin.
She's great.
Should just be in everything.
Yeah, she's great.
That not quite, but you know, she
should get more work.
Yeah, she really should. So she's his wife, and they've got a little daughter. And what I think it's Christmas, and they're watching. I think they say it's the World Cup, but I don't know why the World Cup's at Christmas.
It was going to be, wasn't it?
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah, because my fiance is all about the football. And,
is she?
And it was gonna. I think it might still be. I think it's been delayed or something. But it was gonna be at Christmas at some point soon. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So you do have my sympathies for that. But I fucking hate football.
So do I. I actually watched my first game ever a couple of weeks ago because unfortunately there was no room for in any of the pubs that Paula was looking at, and I was like, well, I'll watch it with you, and
yeah.
I got a takeaway out of it, so it was fine.
Well, that's good.
It worked out okay.
I presume you got beer out of it as well, which is...
I did have a few beers, yeah, I did.
There you go, beer and takeaway, okay, fine.
Yeah, it was alright. Well, as I said to her, you sat through Godzilla vs. Kong for me, I can sit through 90 minutes of football for you, it's fine. I think that's fair.
I always find it oddly strange watching Americans watch football.
Soccer,
yeah. Sorry, soccer. Yeah, I always find that strange. I don't know why. Yeah. Anyway, so they're watching the I don't know whether it's the final or whatever it is. Anyway, there's a party going on there. He wants to get this job at some sort of research place, I think it is, and it's not spoiling it. He doesn't get it. He comes back into the house all despondent with his daughter and his wife, and they're watching the game. And then all of a sudden, in the middle of the pitch, this big portal opens up, and some people drop through, all these soldiers with balaclavas and guns. It's like, fucking hell, what's going on here? Okay. Obviously, if you've seen the trailer, you know what's coming. But when they initially drop, it's like, well, they look like fucking terrorists. Excuse me. And this woman says, I'm from the future. Lieutenant Hart, she says, I'm from the future. I think it's 30 years into your future. There are these we're fighting a war. They're not human, they're aliens, and we're losing horribly, horribly, horribly. If you don't help us, then in the next couple of weeks humanity will be over.
Okay.
So they basically send all the governments say, oh, okay, right, well, we're going to send some people to the future. So they send most of their soldiers.
We would just immediately buy this crazy story and
exactly,
and assume that your intentions are good.
Yeah, reasons fine.
Yeah,
I don't know whether they've got it. Maybe they just show them evidence or whatever. No, I think they don't. They make a point of not showing them because they think no one will go if they see how
awful it's going to be.
Yeah,
I don't know that works. People went to fucking world wars knowing exactly how bloody awful they were.
I actually thought that as well, but fine. So they send a load of soldiers. It all goes horribly, horribly wrong. Most of those soldiers don't come back. So they basically start conscripting people.
Of course.
And our guy gets
World Wars,
our guy gets conscripted, and they get this wristband thing. I say wristband, it's like fucking bolted to them. And it's got a timer on it, and they have to spend a week in the future. Once that week is over, this wristband will immediately teleport them back to their own time.
Okay, this sounds like this sounds like that fucking moment in the TV show, and I guess in real life in Chernobyl, where they're like, oh, if you do like 60 seconds here, you're set for life and you never have to work in the military again. You're almost certainly going to die a horrible fucking death, but this will get out of all of your life service in 60 seconds. It's fine.
Yeah. And they do. I'll spoil a little thing which actually I thought was quite interesting. So all the people they're conscripting are basically already dead in their time.
Of course, that makes some kind of logical sense. Okay.
And the people that have come back in time are all incredibly, incredibly young.
Oh.
So there's they don't exist yet in that time, and they they're already dead in the other time, which I thought, okay, that's kind. I like that. That's good. So
there's some logic there. Yes.
Yeah, there was actually some nice logic there. I thought that was quite good. So
Chris Pratt is not terribly young though.
No, that's it. But they established
is he dead then in the future?
Yes.
Right. Okay. Cool.
I'll say they established that he dies in 7 years' time.
Okay.
So, he's like, there is one thing that the trailer kind of is it in the you see in the trailer, and it's like completely telegraphed what it is. I don't want to spoil it, even though it is like. But the good thing is that it's like you see it coming from a fucking, from across the world. You see it like, but they do a good thing is they don't draw it out. They literally go, this is what it is. So fine. That, like I said, I'm not going to spoil that one, but it's fucking obvious. So they, he with a load of other like 40-year-old people that are out of shape and all that sort of, but which is quite funny because they say there are literally, you will not have to train, you will not have to run anywhere, you will not have to do this, you will literally be like ported in and you will have to just get on with it, which is quite funny because there are like this sort of like slightly, there's like wheezing old guys and incredibly fat dudes, and you think, okay, so okay, fine. It's like literally they're just using them as cannon fodder, really, which again is fine if that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
So I will say, I actually really fucking enjoyed this movie. It's not brilliant. There are not the it will remind you of other movies, but it's actually, there's a lot of fun to be had. I actually really enjoyed this movie.
Yeah.
It will remind you of other movies. It will remind you of Aliens, and it will remind you of Live, Die, Repeat, and it will, there was...
Sure.
But, having said that, there's a lot to like. Chris Pratt isn't actually playing Star-Lord for once.
Yeah, I noticed that from the trailer, and I was quite glad about that. He seemed like he was playing a different character. He
doesn't have all the quips. I mean, there's a couple of times where he's funny, but then that's just his character. He's pretty good. He's doing his best action guy stuff.
Sure.
Yvonne Strahovski's not, again, she's not in it enough, but she's really good and she can do the action stuff because she's been doing it for years. She's in Shark and all that sort of stuff. So she's really good. Simmons plays his dad, which you see in the trailer, who's again not in it very much, but when he is in it, he's J.K. Simmons, so that's great. Sam Richardson as Charlie is quite funny. Edwin Hodge, who's this guy he's been on 3 tours, so he's like the Mr. Badass. He's actually quite good as Mr. Badass.
Mm-hmm.
The monsters are quite good. They look really cool. They for the most part, I think the CG's pretty good. There are some really nice action scenes in it. Some real, really good tense moments where, when they first get to the future, something goes wrong and they end up basically teleported into the middle of a war zone.
Okay.
So they've got to go and rescue some scientists, and there's some real nice tension moments as they're running through the streets. Not knowing they don't even know what they fucking look like yet. So, there's that. There's some really nice little bits with that. I said there's one fucking awesome poster shot near the end, which I will not spoil at all. But it's this great sort of I can't even describe it without spoiling what's going on. But there's a fucking awesome, beautiful shot towards the end. And it's like that. It was almost worth watching the movie just for that shot. It was such a cool image. There's some really nice sort of ideas about the time thing. That they've got, like, they can only go. They've got 2 anchors, one in the future and one there, and they're literally moving along it, at the same time, sort of thing. So they can't go back anywhere else.
So they're like fixed in time, and time happens in real time in both.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
okay.
that's how they get around the whole. Oh, why don't you just go further back, or why don't you just do this?
You just explain it, and that's cool. We can accept that. Yeah, fine.
Which they kind of do. There's something they do later on that you think, okay, fine, that's okay. But overall, this is a thoroughly enjoyable sci-fi action movie. Like I said, everybody in it's doing a full-on, performance.
Yeah.
The creatures are scary enough, and like I said, the action is top notch. So I actually would really recommend this. I actually thought from the trailer it was going to be naff and a bit.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be really average, but I'm really glad to hear this. I'll have to give it a go.
Like I said, it's not the best movie ever, but it's actually right now it's actually a really solid, non-agenda pushing movie. It's a
bit of fun.
Exactly. It's kind of what you want from a sci-fi action movie. It's got all the right ingredients. Everybody's doing their bit, and it's just a fun, full-on sci-fi action. Great.
Yeah. Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me. Well, did you want to talk about the other film, your 2019 movie?
I think I'll leave it because I think we've covered enough.
I think we have. We've had quite a discussion because considering I haven't watched any movies, but Godzilla Singular Point was a good half hour, I think, because
yeah,
it was always going to be a while. But no, that's really cool, man. What are we going to watch next time? Because you were going to come up with a plan. I don't know if you've had time to do that.
I've been sorting through it, but I haven't actually come up with anything yet.
Okay.
But I was thinking, so we can either do Aliens. And just
that's different enough, actually.
Just
Good
go,
point.
Fuck it, let's just do Aliens. Or I like the idea that you mentioned a couple of weeks ago, Falling Down.
Falling Down,
and leave Aliens for later.
It's up to you. Let's do Falling Down.
Yeah,
because I think that might be a movie that would never get made today, and I think it might make for an interesting talk. Actually, that one because. From my memory, there are definitely some things that won't have aged well.
Yeah, probably not.
But I have an absolute love for Falling Down. Yep. I remember seeing it, back when I was a young teenager and thinking it was amazing.
Yeah, I mean that's
fantastic cast.
Video job for me.
So. Yes, same. It was a video job for me. Yeah. I have got very fond memories of it. So yeah, I'd like to revisit that. Let's do Falling Down.
Yeah, cool. We'll do that then.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for listening, everybody. Stay safe, and we will catch you next time.
Bye.